So picture this. Little Timmy just goes up to you and says, I want to challenge you to a chess game. You think to yourself, 1, I've never played chess in my life. And 2, I don't even know who this little Timmy is. But what really catches your ear is that he says, I'll bet you a $5 bill if you beat me. Now you think to yourself, again, how hard could this be? It's like stealing candy from a baby, right? So you decide to accept the challenge, but not only accept the challenge, you raise it to $10. It was a quick game, and little Timmy not only takes your $10 bill, but also takes away your pride. Many people like yourself in this fictional setting have either been challenged to a game, have been somewhat curious about a game, or have had money taken from a younger child because of this game. I'm here to help out with that. With this presentation, you should know how to play the rules of the game and also how to move the chess pieces as well. Now, there are many benefits to the game of chess, such as exercising the most important organ in our body, the brain. And it'll also make you look like a genius and also feel like a genius. So let's get to the rules here. So there's a white and a black side, as you can see right here. And the name of the game is Capturing the King. Now, if you actually capture the king, that is a checkmate. If you're about to capture the king, that means it is a check. If the king has nowhere to move because it'll be in check, that means it's a stalemate. Now that we have the rules under our belt, let's talk about the pieces a little bit. So the pawn is like a henchman. You can order it around, but in the end of the day, it is still the structure of the game. Now the knight and the bishop, that's like your wingman or wingwoman. They'll lay in the back a little bit, kind of keep an eye on you, but whenever you need it the most, it'll be there to help out. Now the rook is like the big dog of the family. Whenever it also lays back a little bit, waits for the right time, but whenever you need it the most, it is right there to come for you. Contrary to popular belief, the queen is actually the most important piece on the board. She's the head honcho. And lastly, we have the king. The king can be best described as a 43-year-old adult that all this adult does is lay on the couch and eat chips while watching everyone else do their jobs. Very lazy piece, but you gotta protect it. Now that we kind of have an idea as to what these pieces are, let's see how they move. So, with the first piece, the pawn, it can either move one space forward, or 2 spaces forward on its first turn. For example, right here, if I want to move it 2 spaces up, I can because it is his first turn. But after that, I can only move 1 space forward. With the knight, it can move in an L direction, 2 spaces up, down, left or right, and then 1 space either up, down, left or right as well. It may sound a little bit confusing, but just think of it as an L. Right here, we want to move the knight 2 spaces up and either left or right. We have the flexibility of the other one. So let's do it right. So we also have the bishop. The bishop can only move diagonally. If the bishop is on a white square, that means it can only move diagonally on white squares. If the bishop is on a black square, that means that the bishop can only move diagonally on a black square. Now you have the rook. The rook can move horizontally or vertically. Then you have the queen. It can move in any direction it wants, as long as there isn't one of your pieces blocking it. And, of course, there isn't an enemy piece blocking it as well. Of course, in that case, you'd want to capture it. Lastly, you have the king. The king can move in any direction as well, but only 1 space in any direction. Like I said, very lazy piece. Two important reminders to remember is that the knight can jump over any piece and is the only piece that can do that. So now with your newfound knowledge, you decide to go up to little Timmy and say, "I'm ready to challenge you to another game." Little Timmy thinks that he's going to get another $10 bill, but you are very confident because now you know how the game is played, how the pieces move too. So the rematch commences. It is a very quick game, and little Timmy not only took your $10 bill again, but your pride as well. Why is this? Well, before you come at me with pitchforks and torches, the reason is you're going to fail, and you're going to fail multiple times, but that's okay. The reason why it's okay to fail is because if you don't fail, then how are you going to learn? Failure causes growth. And so my hope is one day that you will beat little Timmy, and not only that, fail enough times to where you feel like you've grown as a chess player. So again, thank you so much for your guys' time, and good luck on the battlefield.